Now that both Pfizer and Moderna's coronavirus vaccines have reached this milestone, they'll soon seek FDA emergency use authorization. The two vaccines are similar. Both use what's known as messenger RNA technology, require an initial shot, then a booster 3 weeks later, and need to be kept frozen. Meanwhile, 9 other drug companies are nearing the end of their coronavirus vaccine trials, meaning more than one vaccine will likely be approved. FDA vaccine consultant and Stanford researcher Dr. Carrie Nadeau helped develop both the Johnson & Johnson and Novavax vaccines. She says regardless of the approved option and timing, Americans can trust the process.
So I think what I'm really pleased to know is that the companies, the FDA, they've taken the stance that they're going to be super careful about this. They're not going to let any vaccine get out to the public that could put anyone at risk. So that's fantastic.
Technological advances over the years have helped to speed up vaccine development. Also, scientists have been analyzing COVID-19 vaccine data as it comes in, instead of poring over pages of information after trials are finished, as is typically done. Plus, millions of doses are being manufactured now instead of waiting until after approval. Distribution plans have also been mapped out so vaccines can be administered the moment the FDA gives the go-ahead.
There are a lot of different vaccines, and they come in different shapes and sizes, and they're made slightly different ways to activate the immune system so that you can build up that immune strength to hopefully combat the virus if you ever get infected.
Last month, 9 companies issued a joint statement promising not to seek FDA approval unless a vaccine meets their toughest safety standards.
We've got to be thoughtful. We understand there's an epidemic, but we need to get our science right so that we can make sure that we help the American public and the globe.
The CDC and NIH add that when vaccines receive the green light, their data will be made available to the general public. In the meantime, people should talk to their doctor about any concerns.
Health experts say the highest-risk Americans could get vaccinated before year's end and at the beginning of 2021, but that it will be spring before a vaccine is offered to everyone. Masks and social distancing will likely be advised or even mandated until then. Gordon and Terry.
Well, Lorie, let's ask a specific on the availability of the vaccine. The Biden team is now saying healthcare workers are going to get it first, and then they want to distribute worldwide before the average American citizen will have access. What do you think that plan is? How is that going to roll out?
Well, it's really up to the CDC, Gordon, and they are formulating a plan about who gets the vaccine first. The good news is it looks like we're going to have plenty of doses to share with the rest of the world, and who gets it first is still going to be worked out as far as Americans and other people. Hopefully there's going to be enough for everyone to get it as fast as possible. The United States government has put in orders for the major vaccine manufacturers. Each order is 100 million doses.
All right. How many other candidates are likely to be fast-tracked here? We've got 2 from Pfizer, Moderna. Who else is in the running?
Well, the other 2 that are in final phase 3 trials are Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca. And then there are 7 more that are about to enter into phase 3 trials. The AstraZeneca vaccine also needs to be kept frozen and requires 2 shots. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine only requires 1 shot and only needs to be refrigerated, Gordon.
Okay. What's the difference? I'm hearing RNA technology is being implemented. How is that different from other vaccines?
The Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna are the only 2 using messenger RNA technology. This is new technology. It's never been used before for mass vaccinations. And basically, it uses a genetic code that's manufactured in a lab that tells our cells to produce the protein associated with the coronavirus, which elicits an immune response, not just antibodies like most vaccines, but also T cells. And this is different from other vaccines that are made made traditionally that either use a live virus, an inactivated virus, or a protein. And so this is also with the messenger RNA technology, it's also cheaper and faster because it doesn't require the virus to be grown in cells, Gordon.
Well, does the RNA technology means that cell lines from aborted fetuses won't be part of the manufacturing process?
That's exactly right. And a lot of people are concerned because some vaccines do use cell lines from aborted babies. The Charlotte Lozier Institute, which is a pro-life division of the Susan B. Anthony Foundation, has on their website all the different vaccines and whether they use cell lines from aborted fetuses. They say Pfizer and Moderna do not, but Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca do, Gordon.
All right. Well, we've got some viewer questions. Dee on Facebook asking, why would anyone want a vaccine that was developed in less than a year?
Well, you know, health experts say for people who have concerns about the vaccine should really talk to their primary care physician. So this is a medical expert that you know and trust and knows your health situation. And so there's obviously a lot of concern about vaccines. As many as 50% of the American public is hesitant to get one. And so this information about vaccines is going to be released when we get all the safety data, and all the trial data is going to be released to the general public. And so regular folks can look at it, and if they don't want to look at it or can't understand it, they can talk to their doctor about it. But health experts say that they can, quote unquote, chew gum and walk at the same time. In other words, you can produce a safe and effective vaccine in record time.
Well, let me put you on the spot, Lorie, because I've already asked my doctor, and he's a little queasy about taking a vaccine that has this kind of development timeline. Would you take it?
Absolutely. I want to be in the front of the line. You know, we know that 60,000 people have already taken these vaccines. And through my job, I'm very blessed to have this job. I've gotten to know some of these people who are involved in vaccines and vaccine development. And a lot of them are MD PhDs, which means they not only have a medical degree, but they also have a PhD. And I really do believe personally that it's a process that is excellent. It's the best in the world. But the thing about it is I'm not a high-risk person. So even if I wanted to get a vaccine as soon as in December, I'd still have to wait until March or April to get mine. And again, those of us who won't be even allowed to get a vaccine soon can kind of look at those who do get theirs early and see how they do.
All right. Well, here's a rumor that keeps cropping up. Could this COVID vaccine have a chip in it to track us? That would be a deal breaker for lots of people. What's your answer to that?
It's absolutely a deal breaker, but from everything we've been told, that's just an online rumor. I talked to Francis Collins, Dr. Francis Collins, who's the director of the National Institutes of Health, and by the way, is an extremely faithful Christian. And he said that that's really just a rumor and online propaganda, and encourages people to be very careful about the information that they're seeing on social media and disreputable websites.
All right. As I understand it, there'll be a chip that actually tracks when it's administered and where it's administered, but nothing that's going to be put inside of you to track where you're going. And so that's
right. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's sort of like a barcode on the exterior of the shot to show when it was delivered. And it also, we do need to track these because many of them will require 2 shots. So we kind of need to keep track of when it was delivered and to whom.
Well, Lorie, thanks for all the information, and thanks for being willing to be a guinea pig on the new vaccine. That's wonderful.
My pleasure.
All right. You can always get the latest updates at our website, cbnnews.com, or you can go to download the CBN News Channel app and get push notifications. We want to keep you informed and up to date on the latest on this virus.